Greetings to all of you. Program BBM, Subject Principles of Management. Unit number 5, Controlling. And today's topic is Techniques of Control. Contents, Techniques of Control. In the Techniques of Control, there are personal observation, good organization structure, unity of plans, statistical control reports, break-even analysis, budgeting. So these are the topics which can be discussed in the today's session. There are various techniques of managerial control, and these can be classified into two broad categories. One is the traditional techniques and another one is the modern techniques. Traditional techniques are as follows: uh, personal observation, good organization structure, unity of plans, objectives, statistical reports and analysis, break even analysis, budgetary control. So these are the traditional techniques which can be discussed in the today's session. First one is the personal observation. Personal observation is one of the oldest technique of controlling. So the observation of the actual actions or the performance at the workplace of the employees is most effective, and it is the oldest method. So some of the information and impressions can be secured only through face-to-face contact, and the face-to-face contact will help the manager to take the corrective measures on the spot itself. The personal observation will be having a psychological impact on the employees. Whenever the employees are personally observed, they try to achieve better results when they know that they are being observed by the superior. Personal observation is the most direct and undistorted means of control. The observer exactly knows what is wrong and what can be taken to correct that wrong. Suppose in a factory, a manager goes rounds around the plant, watches the machines and operations in action and checks the output. So which machinery is functioning and which labor is working or which employee is working and what is the products are produced and what is the quality of the product. So all those can be observed. So whatever the devices are there, so they cannot substitute. That means to say, if there are control devices, that should not be substituted for personal observation. So personal observation is one of the effective and efficient system of controlling, but sometimes the people may not be like to closely observed by some other people. So that is the one of the that means there may be a negative impact on the employees in some cases. The second is the organization structure. That means good organization structure. A good organization structure sometimes uh, play a significant role, and if there is a good organization structure, and if the people of the organization know what is their role and how they are related to each other. So that will be helpful in improving the productivity, and also it removes the obstacles of the performance. If everybody knows what is the organization structure, what he needs to function, and who is reporting to whom, so this improves the productivity, and if there are any obstacles, so they can be removed. And if there is a good organization structure, the activities will be carried out as planned them before. But the good organization structure is not a substitute, but the organization can help the control system. That means if there is a good organization structure, it can help the controlling function. The organizations are fallible systems as they are operated in a changing environment. So organization may fail sometimes because of the changing environment. So without a control system, the organization cannot function. The objectives may be lost in daily routine, so there should be a conscious effort to direct and integrate the efforts of the people in order to reach the organizational objectives. So the organizing and controlling have the same aim. That means the organization structure and controlling should have a same aim. That means to make a system operate along with the predetermined lines. The next one is the unity of plans. So unity of plans is one of the technique of the controlling system. So there should be a unity of plans, objectives, policies, procedures, and methods, uh, which can help the control system more effective. So if there is a unity in the objectives, policies, procedures, and methods, it will be helpful to the more effective control system. When the objectives of the organizations are integrated with the objectives of the employees, there should be a cooperation and loyalty. So whenever the objectives of the employee and objectives of the organizations are integrated, the employees will cooperate themselves and there should be a loyalty can be secured. So if there is a cooperation, the work is carried out as per predetermined manner, and the philosophy of management by objectives has been developed by to achieve identity and congruence between the objectives of the management and of the employees. Policies provide a unified direction to operations. So as the policies are developed by the management, so they will be directing the employees to perform the operations. So there should be unity in the policies. Control becomes the easier to the extent of policies of an enterprise are consistent with each other. So if there is a unity, control becomes the easier. So procedures and methods serve as operational guides in the daily routine of an organization. When well defined procedures are laid down, the controlling authority has simply to see whether the prescribed procedure is being systematically followed or not. Next one is the statistical control reports. Statistical reports and analysis are an important instrument of control. Analysis of statistical data in the form of averages, percentages, ratios, correlations is helpful in control of production, quality, inventory, etc. Statistical reports are analytical documents in the form of tables, graphs. They provide factual data and trends which are useful for the management of the control. And these statistical reports reveal whether the prescribed policies are being followed or not. Next is the break-even analysis. Break-even analysis is an analysis of interrelationship between the cost of production, volume of production, and profits. So break-even analysis, it analyzes the interrelationship between the production, volume of production, and profits. So it is also known as cost value profit analysis, CVP analysis. Costs are broken into two elements, fixed and variable. The relationships between the cost, volume, and profits will be depicted in a chart known as a break-even chart. Uh, Break-even chart depicts graphically the total cost and total sales at various levels, and it is break-even analysis is helpful for the managerial control in the several ways. First, it helps in determining the minimum value of sales at which costs are fully recovered and beyond which there can be a profit. In the uh, secondly, a minimum value of sales which can be uh, undertaken in order to recover the fixed costs. Thirdly, uh, it separates the costs into fixed and variable. The management can exercise control over the variable costs. Thirdly, break-in analysis can be applied to estimate the profit at different levels of the activity. So, what is the profit if the 50% of the activity is undertaken in the organization, and what is the profit if the 100% of the activity is taken? It also depicts the cost behavior in relation to changing volume of sales and its impact on the profits. And also break-even analysis is useful for the managers in the getting the managerial results of their decisions. Another technique of controlling is budgeting. So budgeting is one of the most useful techniques of control. Budget is the process of preparing and utilizing budgets to evaluate the actual performance. A budget is a quantitative statement of objectives and programs for a definite period of time in future. It is an estimate of expenditure and results prepared in advance of the period to which it applies. The main characteristics of the budgets are: it is prepared in advance and is based on the future plan of action. Next is it relates to a future period and is based on the objectives to be achieved. And next one is it is a statement expressed in monetary or physical units. Budget is a useful tool of planning and control. It represents the goals in quantitative terms. It defines the job assignment of the people, and it also provides standards by which the actual performance can be evaluated and find out the deviations from the planned expenditure or results. So this information enables the managers to take corrective actions for bringing actual results in conformity with the plans. So there are different types of budget, such as sales budget, production budget, materials budget, labor budget, factory overhead budget, distribution overhead budget, administrative overhead budget, cash budget, capital expenditure budget, master budget. So there are different types of budgets which can be used for the controlling. So these are the some of the traditional techniques of management. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you.